Have you ever felt like your life is just one step away from the edge? No matter how hard you work, how smart you are, just one careless word, one slip of anger, one impulsive purchase, or one sleepless night lost in overthinking, and everything can collapse. And the bitter truth is you know this. But you still can't stop yourself. You say the thing you know you shouldn't even, when your own mind whispers, "Shut up." You lose your temper over nothing, then torture yourself afterward. You swipe your card for something you don't need just to feel like you're still okay. You lie awake at night, eyes wide open, your head spinning with questions that have no answers. No one out there is sabotaging you. It's you silently pulling brick after brick from the foundation you built. Because you were never taught this one core truth. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is doing what's right, even when it's hard. You think you're strong because you have willpower, ambition, talent? All of that means nothing if you can't control four things: your mouth, your moods, your money, and your mind. If you let them control you, you're not the leader of your life. You're just a soldier reacting, lashing out, spending, spiraling, marching under the orders of instinct. And sooner or later, you'll destroy everything you worked so hard to build. So this is not an inspirational video. This is a warning, a test of your inner strength. Ask yourself honestly, of those four mouth moods, money, mind, which one is secretly controlling you every day? Comment it below. At the very least, start by naming the enemy. First, let's start with the mouth. The mouth is a knife without a sheath. It doesn't clang, it doesn't gleam, but it can sever the last thread holding you to others. You can spend 10 years building trust and lose it in 10 seconds of careless words. And the cruelest part, no alarms go off, no warning signs, only silence afterward. A silence colder than any verdict. Think of John at Thanksgiving dinner. He's dressed sharp, glass of red wine in hand, seated at the long table. No one asked, but he launches into stories about the new house he bought, the promotion he just got, which private school his kids are in. He thinks he's livening the room. But everyone just glances at each other, half smiling. His niece texts her friend, "Uncle John is at it again." What John doesn't see, he's become the punchline in his own family. Nobody argues because nobody argues with a braggart. They just sit, letting him expose his emptiness. Boasting is like wearing a signboard around your neck. I'm not confident, so I need your approval. The more someone talks about their success, the less others believe it. Or Sarah at a weekend get-together with her husband's friends. The vibe is warm, easy. Then one friend mentions how stressful work has been. Sarah sips her wine, quips, half joking, half cutting stress, sitting on Zoom calls all day. That's what you call stressful. The table laughs awkwardly. The friend goes quiet. Her husband says nothing more that night. Sarah thought she was witty. In reality, she unsheathed her knife and slashed her husband, his friends, and her own image all at once. A sarcastic jab doesn't kill on the spot, but it leaves scars. From that night on, everyone sees her differently. People don't forget the one who enjoys making others look small. Then there's Mike, the fun neighbor, who always knows the inside scoop. He tells stories of neighbors divorcing co-workers, fighting who's in debt. At first, his friends laugh, beer in hand, it's entertainment. But then, in a group chat, someone types, "Don't say anything in front of Mike, or the whole town will know by next week." From then on, the invites stop. Nobody tells him directly, but the verdict is final. Someone who so easily spills others' secrets will just as easily betray you. And the humiliation isn't in what they say behind your back. It's in their silent agreement to erase you from their circle of trust. The mouth is the sharpest weapon we carry. You can use it to cut bread, to share, to build. But most of the time, you use it to tear things apart without realizing it. Boasting turns you into a clown in the eyes of others. Sarcasm shrinks you into someone petty. Gossip brands you as untrustworthy. No one will tell you this to your face, but in their minds, the label is already stamped. And that label sticks tighter than any explanation you'll ever give. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Let your words reflect integrity, not impulse." That line isn't meant for a t-shirt. It's a survival rule. In a world where everything can be recorded, where every chat can be screenshotted, where every status can resurface to bite you, controlling your mouth is no longer just politeness. It's survival. Many people mistake bluntness for strength. In truth, it's just untrained instinct. Anyone can blurt out whatever they think, but only those with inner strength know how to choose. One word spoken at the right moment can preserve a relationship. One word at the wrong time can burn 10 years of trust. And the tragedy is, you'll never see the exact moment the crack begins. You'll only see the outcome, the coldness, the silence, the loss. Ask yourself, do you speak to prove you're right, or to protect what matters? Do you speak so others will hear, or so they will respect you? Do you speak to vent, or to create weight? Your mouth, if left unchecked, will be your most loyal traitor. It will betray you without warning. Mood. Mood is strange, invisible. No one can see it yet. It can steer your entire life off course in a single morning. You don't need an enemy. You don't need a crisis. Just one bad mood when you wake up, and suddenly it feels like the whole world has turned against you. But the world hasn't changed. You've just put on gray glasses and blamed the sky for being dark. Picture this Monday morning. You're driving to work. A red light. An SUV cuts in front. You curse, shouting into the windshield. Later in a meeting, a colleague gives feedback and you snap. What do you know? That evening, your wife calls to ask about dinner and you bark. Whatever, just stop asking. In 12 hours, your mood has slashed through your career, your colleagues, and your marriage. No one sabotaged you. It was just you losing to your own mood. Jake learned this the hard way. A key engineer at a tech company, until one stressful night in a bar when he hurled a glass against the wall. The clip spread online. The next morning, HR sent the email, "We thank you for your contributions. Nearly a decade of work gone, not because of lack of skill, but because he couldn't win against himself for 10 seconds. Or Lisa, whose marriage used to be warm." But day after day, she unloaded her moods on her husband, sharp words, cold looks. No explosions, just fragments of tension piling up. Until one day he stopped wanting to come home. People don't leave you because of one mistake. They leave because they've lived inside your mood for too long. The cruel thing about mood is that it doesn't stop with one relationship. It spreads. Mark's friends invited him to watch the game. He declined. What's the point? Just a waste of money. They asked again, then again. Same rejection, same gloom. Eventually, they stopped asking, and Mark sat alone, convinced his friends had abandoned him. But no one abandoned him. They just didn't want to sit inside his storm any longer. Science is clear: when you're stressed or angry, your brain floods with cortisol, forcing you into fight or flight mode. Long-term thinking shuts down. You become instinct on legs, shouting, firing off reply, all to a poisonous email, texting your ex at 2 a.m. And the next morning, sober calmer, you're left to sweep the ashes of your own mood. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. Epictetus reminded, it is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. One person sees rain and mutters, "Terrible, my shoes are ruined." Another thinks, "Perfect, the gym will be empty." The world hasn't changed. The mood has. And mood determines where your life goes. Controlling your mood isn't about faking happiness. It's steering the wheel through the storm. You still feel the wind, still hear the waves, but you don't throw the wheel aside and scream at fate. You hold it steady, wait out the storm, then choose your direction. Strength isn't the absence of anger. Strength is knowing how to be angry without letting anger drive. You can train this. Write down your feelings, strip them bare instead of letting them circle endlessly. Label them, this is anger, this is sadness, this is fear. Naming separates you from them. Seneca advised, the best cure for anger is delay. Count to 10. Walk for 5 minutes. Power down your phone. Step out of the room. Small acts like these are levees against the flood. They can't stop the rain, but they keep you from being swept away. Mood is like a filter laid over everything. If it's dark, everything you touch turns gray. If it's light, even dark days have places to hold on to. Life isn't measured by how many times you succeed. It's measured by how many times you refuse to let a bad mood drown what's still worth living for. Whoever controls their mood keeps their career, their marriage, their friendships, and most of all themselves. Money. People say money can't buy happiness. Sounds reasonable until you say it to someone drowning in credit card debt, bills stacked to their throat, kids needing health insurance. They'll look at you like you're from another planet. Because happiness may be a luxury, but a roof, a meal, a doctor when you're sick, all are paid for with money. Money won't lift you to heaven, but it keeps you from falling into hell. Money is like fire. Controlled, it warms and lights your home. Let loose, it burns everything down. Every day in America, millions live inside that fire's 6-figure salaries, yet not even 3-month savings. One hospital bill, one layoff, and the family goes up in flames. They're not poor because they don't earn. They're poor because they can't control the fire. Take Nicolas Cage. Once worth over $150 million, he bought castles in Germany, islands in the Bahamas, a pyramid-shaped tomb, even dinosaur eggs. Eventually, he went bankrupt, drowning in tax debt, forced to take any role just to pay it off. People laugh, but this isn't just Hollywood. It's a magnified version of millions of ordinary lives, spending money to prove something instead of to live. Money is also a wild horse. If you know how to ride it, it takes you far. Lose the reins, it throws you and breaks your neck. Fools ride to show off that they own a horse. The wise ride to reach their destination. In American life, you see this everywhere, people buying a new car every 2 years, not out of need, but out of fear of falling behind. People swapping iPhones every fall, not because the battery died, but because they dread looking outdated. That's no longer riding the horse. That's being dragged by it. And money can be chains. Wrong desires turn every dollar into another link, tightening around your neck. The more you earn but spend to prove, the heavier the chain. They call it enjoying life. But in truth, it's running from yourself. Each swipe on Amazon for something you don't need doesn't just cost a few $100. It adds another loop around your throat. And by the time you want to stop, you realize you were never in control. Debt has been steering you for years. Research from Princeton showed that money does increase life satisfaction, but only up to about $75,000 a year. Beyond that, the curve flattens, meaning money won't lift you infinitely higher, but it will keep you from sinking. It won't buy meaning, but it will buy the calm you need to find meaning. You can't meditate with an empty stomach. You can't discuss philosophy with bills piled in front of you. You can't love deeply if every night ends in a fight over the power bill. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." For the man with few desires, every dollar saved is a brick in the wall of freedom. For the man with endless wants, even a 6-figure salary leaves him a slave. You see them every day, tailored suits, luxury cars, yet living paycheck to paycheck. Freedom doesn't live in the car you drive. It lives in the ability not to need another one. Money won't make you noble, but it will keep you from being degraded. It gives you the power to refuse humiliating work. It gives you the strength to walk away from a toxic relationship. It gives you the peace of sleeping through the night without fearing the bank's collection call. Don't fantasize that money will make you divine. Be grateful that it can help you stay human without having to bow. So controlling money isn't about becoming a billionaire. It's about not becoming a slave. The wise don't spend to buy other people's gaze. They spend to buy their own freedom. Mind, where everything begins and ends in your head, or a careless word, a burst of anger, an impulsive swipe of a credit card, all of it sprouts from an untrained mind. The Stoics saw this 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by events, but by their opinion about events." The same layoff, the same rejection, the same rainstorm, one person calls it disaster, another calls it opportunity. The difference is not the event. The difference is the mind. The mind is like a city. If you don't govern it, trash fills the alleys. Rumors, anxieties, comparisons, old bleeding memories, graffiti smeared across the walls. And you keep living inside, mistaking your filthy head for a filthy world. In America, you see people's minds hacked daily. Social media floods your brain with fragments, shocking headlines, dopamine jolts, outrage, and leaves you drained. News outlets plaster breaking on every story, making you believe you must worry about everything: interest rates, elections, climate crises. The result, a brain constantly in alarm mode, a soldier on endless guard duty. Just the phone in your pocket is enough to turn your mind into a battlefield. Neuroscience shows we have a default mode network, the system that kicks in when we're not focused. It loops us into overthinking, replaying old fights, imagining worst-case scenarios, comparing ourselves endlessly. It's what keeps you awake at 2 a.m. Body in bed, but mind in another world, arguing with your boss, your spouse, your life phantoms created by your own head. You lose hours every day battling ghosts you invented. Mark, a software engineer in Boston, once told me, "I've never been fired. But in my head, I've been fired 100 times." Every time his boss texted, "Can we talk?" his heart pounded, his mind spun scenarios: job gone, house gone, wife gone. The actual meeting, just a deadline pushed back a week. That's an untrained mind turning harmless messages into death sentences. An untrained mind. An untrained mind is what kills focus. You open your laptop to work, but your brain jumps from tab to tab like a monkey swinging branches. That's why Cal Newport calls our era a deep work crisis. Whoever can keep their mind focused will win. Everyone else scattered by email notifications, TikTok will drown in the shallows. Not because they lack intelligence, because they lack mental discipline. The Stoics had a timeless practice: journaling. Not to complain, but to audit your thoughts, to separate fact from interpretation, to scrape away the noise. Marcus Aurelius, emperor, in the middle of war, still wrote nightly reminders: you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. A king who commanded an empire, yet first had to command himself. If he needed it, how much more do we? The mind is the reins, the helmsman, the architect. Without training it, you're just a puppet pulled by the other three mouth-moved money. People overspend, not because they love money, but because their mind craves short dopamine hits. People blurt out words not because they hate, but because their mind runs on reflex. People lose their temper not because they were born angry, but because their mind never learned to stop. The mind also decides how you see yourself. Tell yourself, "I'm weak," and you'll live weak. Tell yourself, "I'm resilient," and you'll behave differently. Self-talk isn't just motivational quotes on a wall. It's the code you write into your brain each day. And the brain, like a machine, obeys. Insult it, it weakens. Train it, it strengthens. Some say I can't control my thoughts. Wrong. You can't stop thoughts from appearing, but you can control whether you follow them. Thoughts are guests. You are the host. A guest knocks, you're going to fail. If you invite it in, make tea sit and talk, it stays all day. If you leave it at the door, it leaves. This is what the Stoics practiced, standing one step outside your own mind, watching thoughts pass without becoming them. That is freedom. Modern research confirms it. Mindfulness meditation literally reshapes the brain. It quiets the default mode network, reduces rumination, increases gray matter in areas that regulate emotion. Translation: less overthinking, less anxiety, more calm steering when storms come. You still drive through the storm, but your hands hold the wheel steady. Training mouth. Mood, money, mind. You don't master these four with philosophy books sitting on your desk. You master them with small habits repeated until instinct. For the mouth, discipline starts with knowing when to shut it. Don't underestimate this. In a meeting, one rash defense can make you look weak. In an argument with your wife, one sarcastic jab can leave a crack for years. A simple drill when you want to snap swallow once count to 3. Those 3 seconds are the line between careless words and words with weight. And when you speak, say less than you want. Words, the fewer the heavier. For mood, you don't need to become stone. You just need to learn to flip the breaker. A bad day can infect a whole week if you let it. Instead of following mood's lead, cut it with physical action. Walk. Briskly 10 minutes, take 5 deep breaths, write down exactly what's bothering you. Small, yes. But that's the switch. Flip it once, then again, until mood no longer runs your life. For money, discipline lives in one word: delay. Ordinary people spend the moment emotion says, buy it. You deserve it. The discipline delay a day or a week. 70% of impulse wants fade when you revisit them later. Try this, keep a want list and only buy if it survives there for a week. The money you save isn't about hoarding, it's about sleeping well. A savings account isn't as sexy as a new car, but it lets you stand tall when your boss tries to crush you. That's freedom. For the mind, you don't need lofty philosophy. You need to take out the trash. Every day, your brain produces thousands of thoughts, most junk. Left unchecked, they become static. The simplest exercise: write 3 lines each night. What happened today? What did I think about it? Where's the truth? Writing it strips fact from story. Another tool: turn your phone off for an hour daily. Give your brain time to stop standing guard. The mind, like muscle, grows only when it alternates strain with rest. You can't change your life in one morning of inspiration, but you can change it through daily discipline. 3 seconds of silence, 5 minutes of walking, 1 week before spending, 3 lines of journaling. Small things. Yet these define you. Others will call it strength. You'll know it's just habit. An untrained mind makes your life like a filthy room, cluttered, suffocating, unlivable. A trained mind makes it like a clean one, still full, still imperfect, but organized enough to breathe. In the end, it comes down to one question: who controls you? If you don't control your mind, everything else is a joke. Money drags you, mood wrecks you, mouth betrays you. The Stoics never sought to control the world. They sought to control the mind, because whoever controls the mind controls life. Conclusion: it all comes back to your choice. You can keep letting your mouth run reckless, your mood storm unchecked, your money buy chains, your mind turn into a prison. Or you can start taking control, not of the world, just of 4 things: mouth, mood, money, mind. Those who master these don't need to shout or boast. They are calm, untouchable, disciplined, yet free. They lose 1,000 small battles, but win the only war that matters: the war with themselves. This is the Stoic path. Not easy, not sweet, not for the weak, But if you walk it, you'll find the one power no money, no fame, no enemy can steal inner power. Control your mouth, mood, money, and mind. That's the Stoic path. That's your path.